Victorum gaming fans and Victory at Sea fans. We're back and we're covering Victory at Sea here, and we're going through just different parts of the game. So today we're going to take a look at the national special rules. So each faction is basically broken down. You got a little bit of a history, different phases of the war, special rules, and then some of the extra like battleships and stuff like that, airplanes. But we're just focusing on the special rules. So starting off with the U.S. Navy torpedoes. So U.S.-made torpedoes in the early to mid-war period were, to put it bluntly, bloody awful, as it says. So Navy training didn't put much of an emphasis on it, and basically the big problem was the arming mechanism. So there's actually some cool documentaries out there that you can take a look at that covers that, actually. In game terms, though, every successful attack rolled in scenarios taking place up to the end of 1943, roll an extra D6, and on a 5 or better, the torpedo actually arms properly and explodes, causing damage as normal. If a lower score is rolled, the attack dice is treated as having missed. So pretty rough for early to mid-war American torpedoes, basically. So even if you roll hits, you're going to have to roll an extra D6 and then get a 5 up to actually still get that hit in. So basically pretty rough there to actually get that accomplished. Then the cool part for the Americans, though, sort of 1943 onward, is the VT fuses, so the variable time fuse. Basically dealing with anti-aircraft fire. So VT fuses may be equipped by any light guns with the DP trait, so dual purpose trait, and all such guns on a ship have to be upgraded if this option is taken. Any ship equipped with DP guns and VT fuses may use their entire attack dice against incoming aircraft instead of the usual half. VT fuses have a commissioned date of 1943 and may not be equipped prior to that. So if you're going to be facing a lot of airplanes, carriers, stuff like that, and it's 1943 or onward, you certainly should consider upgrading to the VT fuses. So just being able to use your full rate of fire, basically, against incoming planes is going to be a nasty little surprise, and basically you're doubling the effectiveness of your anti-air fire. So especially dealing with things like Japanese carriers and other things like that. So depending on points cost, of course, but definitely worth considering for ships that have that option. So that covers the Americans. Moving on, so we get the Imperial Japanese Navy, and they actually come with 3 rules. Here's the kind of little profile of the Yamato. That thing's going to be a beast. So Jap torpedoes, in contrast to the American ones, are pretty damn good. So the Type 93 Long Lance had an exceptional range, but obviously the longer the range, the tougher it is to actually hit anything. So Long Lance torpedoes are used in the same way as other torpedoes, unless the range to the target is greater than 20. If the target is at a greater range, roll a d6 for each torpedo that successfully hits. The torpedo will miss unless the result of the second die roll is a 6. So we get that. And then fan salvos is another fun little rule. Any ship capable of 3 or more attack dice of Type 93 torpedoes may fire a single fan salvo after fleets have been deployed, but before the battle begins, with the intention of hitting multiple enemies. Roll a d6 for every ship taking part in the fan salvo. This will expend the ship's torpedoes for the battle if they have the one-shot trait, but will be reloaded in time for the battle if they're slow loading. So basically it's a free shot if you have slow loading. Random enemy ship will be automatically hit with no chance to evade on the roll of a 6. So chance to get some damage in basically pre-game, which is pretty dang nasty. So, and then last, so for you people thinking about running Japanese carriers, it's going to be a rough time if you're taking damage. The carriers of the Imperial Japanese Navy had poor fire control procedures. If a Japanese carrier has a crew area critical score of 2 or more, it suffers a -1 penalty to all damage control rolls. So damage control and criticals is something we'll cover in a separate video, but basically to simulate the effects of damage happening and spreading throughout the ship. So for certain areas, as you reach a certain amount of damage, that can then make things worse in other places. But here, if your crew area is basically up to 2 or more on the chart, you're going to suffer another -1 penalty to damage control, which is going to make it that much harder to put those fires out. So, and as other damage accumulates, all these things stack in the game, actually. So it's going to be a rough time for you if your opponent is putting serious damage on you if you're playing a Jap carrier. So those are their 3 rules. Moving on. Next up, we get the Royal Navy, and they just come with the VT fuse rule, so it's basically the same as the Americans, same setting, or same time, so basically 1943 onward, so don't need to cover that again. It's literally exactly the same thing. So surprising that there's no other rules for the Royal Navy, but maybe we'll get more down the road. So and then last but not least here, really, the Kriegsmarine, so German Navy. And for this, they didn't really bother providing us with any special rules yet. So I'm guessing in the full set of rules, we'll actually get some more information here. But for now, they cover, they get some Ju-87, so Stukas, and 109s, and then a profile of the Bismarck, so some cool things here. And on the British side, I forgot to show that real quick, so the Queen Elizabeth class, so the Warspite in particular here. And then last but not least, we do get the Regia Marina and the Marine Nationale. So no special rules for the French, although we do get some for the Italians, which is a little bit weird that we wouldn't get any for like the Kriegsmarine, but we do get some for the Italians. And for now, the Italians and French really are just airplanes. So hopefully we will actually get some ships down the road, though. That'll be pretty cool. So on the Regia Marina, coordination. One of the things that characterized the performance of the Regia Marina was the lack of coordination between the fleet and the Regia Aeronautica, so the Air Force. In fact, the Aeronautica needed to receive orders directly from the Supreme Command rather than the fleet's admiral. So, if a Regia Marina fleet possesses any flights or aircraft other than those launched from carriers, it will suffer a -1 penalty to its initiative throughout the battle. Pretty rough. This penalty does not apply for a fleet consisting entirely of aircraft, however, so interesting little caveat there. So, and seemingly that would imply that that is possible, so a fleet of nothing but aircraft. So that could be some interesting games. And then unwilling soldiers. So despite having a frontline navy, the Italian military was not well trained, was thrown into battle unprepared, and few believed in Mussolini's vision of a new Roman Empire. All ships suffer a -1 penalty to their crew quality check. So basically when you're trying to give ships orders, which again we'll cover in another video as well, it's going to be a little bit rougher to actually get some of those orders to go off. So that's just a quick synopsis of some of the national special rules that we got here. And again, this is just the demo set, so I do imagine the full rulebook will have to have a little bit more for us. Doesn't seem right that, again, the British just have the one rule here, and then Kriegsmarine is left with nothing in this set. So, but yeah, just a quick overview of some special rules and stuff that you can expect. So definitely starts bringing out those national flavors. And again, for now, it's just the 4 big fleets that we looked at, but it seems like Italians and French will be something that show up down the road, and I have to imagine Soviet Navy as well. So, but yeah, really cool stuff, and hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will definitely have some more Victory at Sea content coming for you here shortly. So hit the like if you could, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.